Huge Sunday. Welcome in, everybody. Everything was profitable last week. MLB, NFL, college football, winning across the board. And on Sunday, just 7-2 day, 2-1 in baseball, 5-1 in the NFL. That makes it 6-1 on week 3 and 19-5 on the NFL season, up over 28 units so far through 3 weeks of the NFL season. Absolutely red hot. Going to get into a recap of that. Going to get into some of the NFL action going on later tonight. Couple of Monday Night Football games. Short baseball card. We'll touch in on that as well. No bets out so far for members. But, of course, if you guys want those as those get added, sign up on the app or the website. Really quick, if you haven't yet, like, comment, subscribe below. John, scorching hot. Got to be feeling good. 3 straight Sundays, a masterpiece in NFL betting.
Yeah, it was really look. Yesterday, as of noon Eastern, we did not have a bet. And guys were breaking my balls in the DM. I don't see any bets. When's the bets? Guys, the bets come when they come. When the line is right, when the information is there, that's when we make the bet. So 0 bets at noon Eastern yesterday. We wound up with 6 NFL bets. We bet against the sharps. The info came out. Everybody out for Green Bay. They pushed the Saints to a 2-point favorite at Green Bay. Hey, I'll admit it. Very lucky to win that game. 17-0. Came down, get a couple of pass interferences, get down, score the first touchdown, and there's your W. But the point is, we waited till the line got to the spot where, with all the injuries that the Packers had, at +2, it was worth a play on Green Bay. When the line got there, that's when we sent it out. When we got the weather report, knowing how bad the wind and rain was going to be at where the Jets play, I don't know if you want to call it Giant Stadium, MetLife. I don't know what they call it anymore. We can wait for the info. We see who's playing. We took actually a bad number on the total. But that game is under the right circumstances. I put in the preview. This is a 17-14 game. Well, I was wrong. It was only a 15-10 game. We had the right info. We go under. So again, guys, it's when we get the info, when we get the right line, when we feel there's an edge, that's when we bet, not just to make a bet anytime when we feel it's right. So that's why we don't have a bet today. You can't bet this Bengal game unless you know if Burrow's in or he's out. Now, they're calling him a game-time decision. This line has bounced around all week. Opened up 7 last Sunday night. I mean, Burrow information came all the way down as low as 1 and 1.5. Now it's up to 3, as I guess there looks like info out that Burrow's going to play. So what's been said, he'll warm up, and they'll see how he feels. Again, we talk about coach speak all the time. Is this trying to let the Rams to prepare for Burrow? Is there any chance that Burrow plays? He was playing horrible first 2 weeks, and it could only be worse if he's hurt. We'll see how that all trades. But again, it's about info. It's about where the line is when we get the right info. So that's why you cannot have a bet on this game. Anybody that's given a bet on the Bengal game before, there's nobody know. Nobody knows yet 100%. They may know by the time you guys see this podcast, but by the time we're shooting this podcast, nobody knows. Somebody says they know, they're a liar. Joe Burrow doesn't know if he's playing. Well, maybe Joe Burrow knows if he's playing. We'll see it. We take the information that takes very dope. So another big day. 5-1 in NFL games. The one loser, the Vikings. I mean, it could have been a 6-0 sweep. We had Vikings at the half. So it's we just got we laid 1 at the half. We were down 4 at the half. We're down 4. The final 2 possessions, Vikings have the ball, goal to goal in Chargers territory. Twice come up empty-handed. Cousins just terrible. The last one, a ball that's bounced and picked off. So very easily could have been 6-0, but that was our only loser in NFL, a 1-unit bet. Our smallest bet of the day was the Vikings, and that was our one loser. Baseball, same thing, more of the same. Dogs. And we get the what is White Sox plus 150 yesterday. A nice price with the White Sox. When I bet teams like the White Sox and oh no, John, not the Tigers again. And yes, that's where the value is, a plus $1.50 with them. We did have a little bit of a favorite. a minus 105 with the Orioles. That was our biggest baseball bet of the day, a 2-unit bet, and that was an easy win. A sale to that one. Just a stupid line. McKenzie coming back, hadn't pitched in 3 months. Guys, this is the Orioles. They're the most profitable team in baseball this year. They've got the best road record in baseball. What do you give them some respect? So yeah, that was an easy one. Leo 5 against the pitcher, coming back after 3 months, and a team that's out of it. They've been eliminated. Just didn't see that. That was an easy one for us. So again, yeah, 7-2. It's a big day to conclude, a big weekend. Do I want to be a pig? Yes. Could have been even bigger. We blew 2 games Friday and Saturday night with ninth inning leads, and our closers give up 2 runs in the bottom of the ninth. The Tampa Bay and Blue Jay game on Saturday, and then on who the hell did we blow on Friday? I believe that was the Orioles on Friday.
Yep.
When they lose to the Guardians with another 1-run lead, getting 2 in the bottom night. So two-run games in the bottom of the night prevent us from having a monster. But look, good enough. We'll be making a lot of collections this week. We'll be filling up some safe deposit boxes. So it's a good week. So hopefully you guys are a member. If you're not, what are you waiting for? Become one, guys. There's only so much you can get watching the podcast and knowing who we're on. If you watch the podcast this week, you didn't know we had made an NFL bet. So you missed out on a tremendous 5-1 weekend.
Yep, massive weekend all around. Hopefully we can keep that going on into week 4. Do have some Monday Night Football games going on tonight. We can start there. Eagles at Tampa Bay. I mean, this is going to be a rematch in the playoffs a few years back. You guys remember that? Obviously, this is a young Jalen Hurts. Now we have an experienced one. This Tampa Bay team looking good out the gates, but their opponents, Bears and Minnesota. So what do you want to take from that? This Philly team, they're coming off a win against Minnesota as well, 34-28. Got it done on the ground, 259 rushing yards. This Tampa Bay team looking pretty good defensively, starting to get a bit back to that defense they were in the Super Bowl. And if they can get back to that kind of a defense, they should have some success. Eagles, good road record last year, 9-1 straight up, 3-8 against the spread, though. So winning games, not blowing them out on the road. And that's part of the reason for the lean to the home dog in this matchup. Last time they met, like I said, it was in that 21-22 season in the playoffs, and it was a 31-15 win for the Bucs. Obviously, that was with Tom Brady and everything else. But this Tampa team allowing just 54 rushing yards per game, and that's what they were so good at when their defense was good in those playoff runs. It was stopping the run game, and Eagles passing game hasn't looked as good. It hasn't been there, so we'll see if they can get it going here against Tampa. But I don't think they're going to be able to run all over them like they did against Minnesota. Home dog or nothing in this one.
I'm right there with this number. The number's 5. That's right where I think it should be. Eagles didn't have the great against the spread record, but neither did Tampa last year. Now, I said in the beginning of the year, Tampa wouldn't be an overlay as much now that Tom Brady is gone. You got to remember, guys, Tom Brady's they're just packing an extra point on to Tom Brady there. Baker Mayfield done a nice little job so far. Philly's going to get a couple of D-backs back, though, that they didn't have in their last game against Minnesota. They're going to get Blankenship and Bradbury back. They do lose Avonte Maddox. But a little matchup with 2 guys coming back. They'll also get Gainwell back, the running back. But Sims did a phenomenal job. Swift did a phenomenal job last week running for $175. Look, that's what this team does. They run. Tampa Bay, they stop the run. Tell me how many passing yards the Eagles are going to have, and I'll give you the winner of this game. If they're going to win this game on the road and cover, he's got to have 250-plus passing yards. You're not going to beat Tampa Bay on the ground. No bet on this one. This is one that I'll get the feel of the game. We'll be watching it, and if there's a spot at halftime, as we did in a couple of games yesterday, we'll make a move then.
Yeah, Eagles, they forced 4 fumbles against Minnesota. Tampa Bay, one of 2 teams remaining who has not had a turnover in the first 2 games so far this season. So we'll see if they have a turnover in this matchup. That'll be interesting.
Eagles done so far, I really do.
And then we have the Rams at the Bengals. Obviously, we talked about it off the start. Joe Burrow, what's going on with him? The exact quote from coach is, if he plays, won't be 100% for some time. So clearly wasn't looking 100% the first couple of games coming off the injury originally. I guess it's re-aggravated. Joe Burrow playing? That's where this game really swirls around. Outside of that, you have a Rams team who hasn't had much success on the road. 1-7 straight up, 2-5-1 against the spread their last 8 road games. You have a revenge factor from the Super Bowl, which is as big of a revenge factor as you can get in the NFL. So definitely a game Cincinnati wants. Then you add in the fact that they're an 0-2 team at home, Monday night, extra rest. This is a game that the spot lines up perfectly here for Cincinnati. Who's playing quarterback's really the main question. But this would be Bengals or nobody. Just got depends on the number and what's going on with Burrow.
And then really, what more is there to say but the Burrow? I mean, we can talk everything we want. Again, this line was down to as low as 1.5, as high as 7. In the middle is the right line somewhere. But unless we can not only know if Burrow's playing, get an idea how he's throwing the ball. He's got to get out there at some point. ESPN, so I'll have some footage, how he's walking around, is he running, is he limping? We want to see that. Is Burrow playing? That'll make up our decision. And once again, if he is or isn't playing, here's a game that during the course of the game, we might decide to make a move at halftime.
No, but also some under trends there. 2-1-1 Rams last 4, 3 of Bengals last 4, and obviously that Super Bowl matchup they had did go under as well. So could be a low scoring game, but again, all of it dependent on Joe Burrow. So we'll see what ends up happening there. And just a little recap about NFL Sunday. John, we can talk about some of those games that we didn't have action on. I mean, obviously we have to address what went down in Miami. I mean, my goodness, 70 points. Tough loss, tough look for Sean Payton. And Miami, can they put it together against a good team? That's kind of the question here.
Well, I'm down in Florida, and you cannot put the TV or the radio on without somebody talking about Dolphins scoring 70 and having a chance to break the all-time record if they would have kicked the field goal, but they knelt it out. 70 points. That's just ridiculous. Look, we saw from game 1 when they went into to against the Chargers, the Tua Hill show. Well, it's only getting better. Look, they did this yesterday without Waddle. Waddle was out, a concussion. Expect him to get back and get ready because he was questionable right up until Saturday. So you'll have another weapon in Buffalo. This is going to be the showdown. Look, Miami, Buffalo, and KC, they're the 3 teams that are going to be fighting for it in the AFC. As San Fran, I believe Philly, and even though Dallas lost yesterday, and in case I didn't tell you guys, we had Arizona. Took Arizona yesterday. But I believe that Dallas will get their stuff together. One of the big reasons, again, guys, we go deep into details. So Cowboys missing 2 offensive linemen yesterday. Arizona came into yesterday's game with 9 sacks. We just knew that be able to put some pressure on with a banged-up offensive line. Not only banged up with the 2 guys missing, but Tyron Smith was going to miss, had missed the first 2 games coming back. So just a banged-up line, a team that's been getting there, put some pressure on, and sure enough, 13 points at home, big dog, we win the money outright. But throw Cowboys into the mix with Philly, with San Fran. Those are your top 6 teams. Great battle with Buffalo, Miami. There's a little playoff revenge. Buffalo beat them last year, beat them actually twice in Buffalo, but Dolphins covered both games. Dolphins took care of business at home. The other game you got the following week, and then it's Dallas Cowboys. That's playoff revenge. 49ers took care of the Cowboys before losing their quarterback and then losing at Philly. So some great football coming up. Again, injuries have a lot to do with it. We expect Waddle to get back because we thought he would get back this week. They didn't need him. They kept him healthy to hope to get him healthy. So this should be an explosive game. Both games, by the way, in Buffalo, scoring fests last year. And that total's exploded. Total opened at 50. It's up to 53.5 and 54 already.
Yeah, Bills have won 9 of the last 10 meetings there. So I'm going to be interested to see if Miami can take care of business. Obviously, they did snap that trend last year, getting the win at home. We'll see if they can get one done at Buffalo. Defensively, I mean, Miami hasn't had that toughest of a test yet. As far as, they play the Chargers, very high scoring shootout, but it wasn't a good defense against them. They got challenged by New England, but still pulled it out. And Buffalo, obviously the best full package team they're going to have played yet, and we're challenged on both sides of the ball. So we'll see them get that offense going. We'll see if they can stop a good offense themselves. And some of those other, you talked about the Cardinals getting it done. I mean, it's kind of an upset day a little bit. You had the Cardinals pull out a win. You had the Colts pull out a win. The Texans, I mean, I know it's technically an upset, but Texans own that matchup in 10 of the last 11 now against the Jags.
Yeah, I'm kicking myself in the ass with that game. There's a game we have circled from the beginning of the week because they own it. Just when Houston, their injury list was so long, we thought we were going to get the left tackle Tunzel back. He wasn't going to be in. They were going to be missing a couple of defensive backs, Perryman, the linebacker. With all of that, we thought Jacksonville would come with a game with Lawrence and take advantage of that secondary, and they just did not get it done. And their defense was absolutely terrible. This kid Stroud got the job done. They ran the ball well. They did everything they had to do. And, look, it's that was an upset, but the trends show up, guys. Patriots make it 15 in a row against the fucking Jets. The paper airplanes, we may as well call them now. Look where this season went in the matter of a couple of weeks. You got Aaron Rodgers carrying the flag out. Monday Night Football, play Buffalo. They think it's going to be a showdown of the two battle of the AFC, and they're back to being the same old Jets. Lucky to score 17 points a game, and that's why we went under in that game. That was another easy one. But yeah, the ownerships, the trends, that's why we follow them, because they show up, not because they don't show up, because they show up. So yeah, Jacksonville, they'll be licking their wounds again from Houston. Dallas with a big one. The Colts. Now there's a game going into Baltimore. Was supposed to be a lot of rain, and that's what initially kept me off the game. I would have bet Minshew on a dry field, but in a wet conditions, you figure the more athletic Richardson would be the better quarterback. So now he's out. Minshew's going to be in there on a rainy day. The line had already gone when I said the weather wasn't that bad in Baltimore. We missed the better numbers, but yeah. Baltimore, a lot of injury problems. A couple of guys on the front line, including left tackle Stanley. We already know about Dobbins missing the first game. No. The other running back, Justice Hill, gone. Odell Beckham, although he's not, he's Odell Beckham. He's not as good as his name anymore, but he was also out. A couple of defensive guys. So the banged-up Baltimore team gets caught, maybe with an eye on Cleveland next week, another divisional matchup, and they get outrighted too. Dogs win. Dogs win in football when that number's in. That's why you see a number, we'll be taking a lot of numbers most of the time. It's not like baseball where we're on the dog 85, 90% of the time, but most of the time we're going to be on the dog. Again, that's where the value is.
Yeah, you're talking about Stroud. I mean, he's breaking away clearly as day as the best rookie quarterback 3 weeks in, and passing yards over 300 a game right now. He's heading into week 2 was leading the league in sacks, but still didn't have the interceptions yet. Still doesn't have an interception yet. And then obviously we just did at Jacksonville. The Texans got something cooking up now. Past the Watson drama, they bring in a whole new coaching staff. You bring in DeMarco Ryans from San Francisco, bring in a little bit of culture. They have some good young guys in the secondary, some talented wide receivers. They got something for these next couple of years now.
Yeah, well, look, they got a long way to go. They're definitely a better team than last year. Absolutely, 100%. And I like what I'm seeing with the Colts, not just because they beat the Ravens. They looked bad the first week against the Jags, but they didn't have a running game. No running game. Mm-hmm. Now they get Moss back after missing the first game. These last couple of games looked real good running the ball, and they had an actual quarterback that could do more than run the ball. Now I understand it. Richardson's going to be your guy in the future. You got to get him in there. But right now, the two quarterbacks that were replaced yesterday, the old guys, the veterans, they're better teams with those veterans in there than with the young guys. So we'll adjust the lines according. We'll see who gets starts this coming up week.
That's a little bit of the NFL action from the weekend, guys. What's going on tonight? Like we said at the start, no bets out so far for Monday Night Football. If you guys want those, sign up on the app or the website. That way you guys can get them based on injury news and line movements for later tonight, or maybe even a halftime line. And we got a really short card in baseball, but we can talk about this as well. Wild card races starting to thin out a little bit. Going to have some good ones down the stretch. Obviously, this AL West with Texas now back in front. How about Houston over the weekend against Kansas City? Can't pull it out. Can't get it done against Kansas City. Crazy weekend there for the Stros. But these wild card races acting up right now. Seattle half game back of the Stros for that final wild card spot. And in the NL, Miami 1 game back and Cincy 2.5 games back out of those teams. Handful of games going tonight, but Padres and Giants, a couple of teams who were kind of involved in that. Looks like they were maybe going to be in the back of the wild card race. Obviously, too far out now. Giants just completely falling apart here. Padres 9-1, scoring over 6 a game. They're red hot. Giants the opposite, 2-8 on the trip. Padres have had success in the season matchup. And Snell versus Webb here. Snell gets the pitching edge over anybody in the league right now. 5 starts, 4-0, 0.56 ERA. The last 2, just 1 hit in 13 shutout innings. Webb, he's been going pretty solid, but they're not winning. They're 1-6 his last 7 starts, 5 straight quality starts, 2.48 ERA. Last time out, 3 runs in 6 innings and a loss against Arizona. Snell gets the pitching edge. Padres playing good baseball right now. Giants coming off an extra inning Sunday night baseball game. Give me San Diego on the road today.
Just give me 1 second, Ben. I'm actually just posting. I'm noticing here we didn't post the baseball yet today. Had it logged in. Make sure we got it up. Sorry about this, guys. Because when you get when you put in 20 hours on NFL trying to get ready for Monday morning. Anyway, San Diego just can't bet against Snell and San Diego. San Diego picked the last 2 weeks of the season to play their best baseball. Mm-hmm. This is the team that we thought they were going to be all year. Since last year, when they made the trade and they bring Soto over from Washington. Me and Ben spoke about it then. This would be the best hitting team in baseball. Blah, 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 blah. Well, they weren't until these last couple of weeks. And as now you said, scoring 6 runs a game, hitting over 280, red hot. Snell, he's the easy Cy Young winner. What's he got an where am I?
0.56.
All right, last 5 starts. I mean, he's been brilliant. Just throwing shutout baseball, 12 shutout innings over the Giants. Now this is Webb. This is Webb at home, who's been great, and he hasn't faced the Padres this year, but was dynamite against them last year. But I just can't have this San Francisco team going for me. They're 1-6 in his last 7 starts personal, and now they return from a 2-8 trip, hitting a $199. Yeah, I don't want San Fran. It's San Diego and nobody, but obviously the price is up there where I wouldn't lay it. But San Diego and nobody.
Yeah, also worth a look at the under in that matchup. Then we have the D-backs at the Yankees. A little bit of early game going on today. You have this Yankees team struggling right now. They did get the win on Friday. D-backs coming in 6-1, their last 7, holding on to that second wild card spot. Kelly versus Schmidt. Kelly's been solid in September, 3.70 ERA. He is coming off a really nice quality start there against the Giants. Schmidt, last 2 starts, 8 runs and 10 1/3. Definitely a pitching edge for Kelly. D-backs need this. They're trying to clinch his wild card spot, maybe be able to rest up guys a few days down the back end of the season here. So the sooner they can clinch, the sooner they can get those wins, the better. And you got your second best pitcher on the mound. I have a hard time seeing Arizona not show up for this one. This would be Arizona or nobody.
It is, but it's this is a weird situation. It's that holdover day. This was Saturday's game was rained out because of the storm that they had. So they pushed it over to Monday afternoon. Marte is going to miss his 2nd straight game. Look, I was ready to bet Arizona a 2-unit bet today, just waiting for the lineups. No way in the world did I think the Yankees would play Judge today after getting eliminated yesterday. Judge is in, Torres is in. They're all in the lineup. So the Yankees are coming to play baseball. I make Arizona a little bit higher just because they're the team that needs the wins. Yankee season is basically over. but I just don't make it high enough to lay 115 on the road with Marte out. It's a fair number right now. But again, it's Arizona or nobody. Don't want a dead Yankee team with nothing to play for.
Yeah, I know they keep bringing up to Boone that streak of most seasons in a row above 500. So I guess that's what they're playing for, is to get above 500, keep above 500. We'll see. But yeah, I don't get why they're risking Judge playing either. Then we have AL West matchup, Rangers at LA. You have this Texas team coming off a big sweep over Seattle. Like we said at the start, just back ahead in the AL West now after playing for a month long, the worst team in baseball record-wise. And now back end of September here, heating up again. Gray versus Sandoval. Gray's been miserable, 8.56 his last 4 starts. Texas pitching is just the only problem here going into the postseason. What they've had injury-wise, they haven't gotten a lot of these guys back. Uvalde hasn't been back the same. Gray hasn't been back the same. Sandoval hasn't been any better. 5.79 ERA in September. Last time out, though, 2 runs in 5 innings. You pick your poison on who you want to give a pitching edge here. It would be a lean to the over based on the pitching matchup. Don't want any interest in Texas, just a letdown spot as they come. So massive letdown. Don't have any interest in the Angels. Over or nothing, I guess, with this pitching matchup, but staying away from this game.
Yeah, Sharps came right in on the Angels this morning. This game opened up at 200 last night. Now you're looking at 180. I just can't pull the trigger on the Angels. Angels at 2-9. Their last 11 games. Sandoval is garbage, but Ben is 100% correct. This is a letdown spot. 3 big games against the Mariners at home. That's 5 straight they've won now. They're scoring 8 runs a game, hitting 284 over those 5 games. Look, this, as Ben said, they were playing horrible baseball for a month, but it all coincides. They get Jung back, they get Garcia back, and boom, they get their bats back. Remember, this team scores more runs than anybody in home games. I believe they're 3rd in scoring. On the road, a little less, 5.09 runs per game. So about a half a run less than their overall average. Going to go up to L.A. Just like I said, I just can't. The numbers say you have to bet the Angels, but I'm saying you don't. I'm going to be smashing my head if I see Texas put 4 on in the first, saying, why did I bet Sandoval? But even though the price is right, I just don't want a dead Angels team going for me. But yeah, letdown spot. Gray's been horrible. What a turnaround. This kid had a run earlier. He had an ERA in the low 2s. He throws a complete game against St. Louis. He misses that next stop because he develops a blister from going the complete game. He hasn't been the same since, and only worse. 4 September starts, 0-1, 8.56. So for you guys that think you can just bet Texas because they're on a roll, absolutely not. The value is not there, but I just can't pull the trigger on the Angels.
Then we have Houston at Seattle, and this starts a massive homestand here for the Mariners. After getting swept at Texas, they now get 7 straight at home to wrap up the season. 3 against Houston, 4 again against Texas. Currently a half game back of the Stros in the wild card race, 3 games back of the Rangers in the division. Big homestand coming up, and a great pitching matchup to get it going. Verlander versus Castillo. Verlander hasn't been looking the same this last month. In September, 5.19 ERA. Last time out was a quality start versus Baltimore. Still 3 runs in 6 innings in that one. Historically, has owned Seattle. I mean, last year in the regular season, 5-1, 2.34. Did get crushed by them in the ALDS. Ended up winning that game. He gave up 6 runs in 4 innings. I believe the record is 19-1. The Astros are 19-1. His last 20 starts there against the Mariners. Just absolutely ridiculous there. And then you have Castillo going, and they've won his last 10 starts. The last 3, all he's done is 3 quality starts, 3-0, 1.89 ERA. So he's been dynamite. These 2 guys here, aces on the team. This is going to be a great pitching matchup. Pick your poison. It's dog money or nothing. Seattle needs this all the way, but I have to be looking at Houston here. As bad as Verlander's been this month, this is a game I expect a vet to get up for.
He might. And he has owned Seattle except for the playoffs last year. But remember, when that's played at the end of the year, this is a 40-year-old Verlander getting tired as the year closes in on him. 4 September starts, 1-2, 5.19 ERA. This isn't a guy that's going to go out and dominate. Castillo, clear pitching edge in this one. Both teams coming off getting swept. This was a race with Houston, with Texas. Texas couldn't want any better. Texas now, like I say, that's why it's such a big letdown spot for Texas. Now 2.5 games in front. While the two guys chasing, you're playing each other. One of them got to lose. One of these teams is going to be the odd man out. So you've got your two division winners. It's going to be Orioles probably, and Minnesota already clinched. And then Tampa Bay is going to be your top wild card. Toronto's probably going to get a spot. So it's one of these two teams that are going to be out if you're thinking Texas will get in there. So a huge series. Couldn't say it and couldn't say how big it is. But yeah, I got to give Castillo the pitching edge. Both teams coming in. Couldn't be colder though. Seattle's been hot. Both teams have been horrible for the last couple of weeks. Houston 3-9 their last 12. Mariners 3-6 their last 9. Both teams coming off getting swept. Seattle, okay, they got swept at Texas. Never good to get swept, but they get swept at Texas. You cannot let the Royals come in your house and sweep you. Houston has they've been abysmal at home, under 500. Different team on the road. Third best road record in baseball. Second highest run scored per game in road games. But I got to give Castillo the pitching edge. This line is right where it's supposed to be. As tough as it gets. Two teams not playing good ball. One of them's got to win. Ben, send out that Packers bet.
We'll get that out now.
Guys, you're going to get it here just as you see it because it's how it broke. We're going to be on the Packers +2 Thursday night football. This will be our first bet. We've been waiting for these numbers to settle in, and we just saw this one settling in now. The Sharps are taking +2, and this was the one we had a circle on. So we're on the Packers +2.
And if you guys actually stay, because this is going to be at the back end of the episode, I just finished wrapping up the game. So if you stay till the back end of the episode, you just saw that NFL preview. Drop a wink or something in the comments, but don't put it in the comments that we're on the Packers. That way the assholes who didn't watch the whole way didn't get the whole thing.
Exactly. All right. Way to go. So, yeah, that's the baseball card, Ben. For just 4 games. Would only be 3 if the Arizona-Yankee game wasn't pushed off till today. So, baseball, I don't have a bet. There's 4 games. Like I said, the one bet that I was waiting for would have been the Diamondbacks if Judge wasn't in the lineup. He is in the lineup. That kept me off that. Texas, the number is an absolute overlay. It's a letdown spot, but I don't want the Angels. Mariners in Texas, flip a coin. I don't know. Two teams that are ice cold right now. Castillo's got the pitching edge. I guess you'd lean Seattle if you want that way. But it's tough to go that way because Houston's been so good on the road. And the other game, San Diego, San Fran, just couldn't bet San Fran with counterfeit money right now. Can't win. And Snell is throwing BBs. So that's the baseball wrap-up, guys. You're catching the one football game. Guys, you can't get better than what we're doing on the NFL right now. This is where you got to be. So tell everybody about it. Let's get this podcast rolling.
Yes, sir. That's 19-5 on the NFL season, guys. Wrapping up another winning week in all 3 sports there that are going on right now. Nice little college football bounce back for me. Had a 5-unit banger over the weekend as well. You know, you guys tuning in. We hit our free bet on Friday, 3-1 on college football free bets Fridays. Everything's clicking right now. Hopefully we can keep on cashing. Like, comment, subscribe below. Become a member. Make some money.
Make some money.